Dear Lord, the battles we go through life.
Dear Lord, the battles go through life.
We ask for a chance is fair.
We ask for a chance is fair.
Chance to equal our stripes.
Chance to equal our stripes.
Chance to do it there.
Chance to do it there.
We should win.
We should win.
Let it be by the code.
Let it be by the code.
Faith and honor held high.
Faith and honor held high.
We should lose.
We should lose.
Stand by the road.
Stand by the road.
Cheers, the winners go by.
Cheers, the winners go by.
Day by day.
Day by day.
We get better and better.
We get better and better.
Till we can't beat beat.
We can't beat beat.
Boom, beat, beat.
Boom.
Okay, welcome to Game of the Week for Week 7. I'm sitting here jamming to some Madden 17 soundtrack. I got to figure out a way to get it here on the show when I do the recording without us getting one of those stupid little YouTube copyright things. But anyway, let's jump right into Week 7, knocking out this early. Why? Well, because I'm going to be having surgery on Wednesday and I may not be able to talk for a couple of days. So I want to make sure to get you your Game of the Week. Let's look at Week 7 and a couple of really intriguing games. Right off the bat, I like the Bears and the Packers. I think this is going to be between two teams that are fighting it out in that NFC North. That should be a really good game to watch. I really want to see what the new Rams owner does with his new team in St. Louis, as he has the Giants coming to travel in. Bill's got his team red hot. That should be a really fun game. I also really like the Vikings and the Eagles. I think that's another game that's very intriguing. The Vikings are super hot. The Eagles are right on the cusp there. It should be a fun game to watch as it kind of breaks down. I like the Redskins and the Lions. Another game between two teams who are very quietly having a really good season. I like the Lions in that one, and that'll be a good game to watch and see how it kind of breaks out. I also like the Bills and the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are getting a brand new owner this week, somebody that moved over from the Steelers to the Dolphins. The Bills are one of the best teams in the AFC, one of the best teams in the OMFL, period. But he is a really, really good team over in the AFC. That should be a good matchup between somebody who now has his favorite team against Ducks and his Bills. That's confusing to say, but that is what it is. I also really like the Chargers and the Falcons. Falcons are red hot. They're looking to stay red hot against the Chargers. Patriots and Steelers are going to be an intriguing matchup if and when I get his guy to swap over. We got a guy going from the Ravens to the Steelers. He's going to have his favorite team, but he's going to have a huge matchup against Cincy Iceberg and those New England Patriots. I also really like the Seahawks and Cardinals if we find an owner. If not, the computer's probably going to whip up on me. And then the Texans and the Broncos is another really good matchup that I think is going to be fun to watch. But at last, let me get to my game of the week, and that is the Raiders traveling to face the Jaguars. Bowles has his team playing super well. Again, one of those teams that are quietly flying under the radar. He was actually my surprise on Press Pass Live this week for the AFC. I really like the Raiders. I like what they're doing. And I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, Brady and his Jaguars are undefeated and playing really well. He was asking Bowles to lay down for him, but I don't see that happening this week. Let's look at some stats. I think you're going to find some things really surprising here as we break down these stats between these two teams. There we go. I found some things that were really intriguing and surprising to me. First is on offense, both of these teams are ranked below the half. So the halfway mark, they're below 15. Doesn't show us exactly, and I was way too lazy to count. But the Jaguars, just a step above the Raiders. 2,222 yards on total offense. 1,600 yards passing. 927 yards passing. 686 yards rushing. 5 passing touchdowns. 9 rushing touchdowns. 49 first downs. The Raiders, on the other hand, have 1,603 passing yards, or 1,085, there we go, passing yards, 518 rushing yards. And you're going to find that that's an intriguing difference of how that really breaks down. The Raiders actually have the better running back in the league, but the Jaguars overall have the better rushing attack. Both teams are scoring 26.6 yards, 10 passing touchdowns from the Raiders, 6 rushing touchdowns, and 54 first downs. Here's where things get really, really interesting, as the Raiders actually have the better defense. They're ranked number 4 in the league. They're giving up 1,015 passing yards, only 349 rushing yards, only 76 total points. They have 16 sacks, no fumbles recovered. They have caused 5, but they just haven't recovered any of those. and they do have 6 interceptions to be in the upper portion of the league in interceptions. The Jaguars are a little lower than that, still top half of the league. Both of these teams is going to be, their strength is going to be the defensive side of the ball. They've only allowed 919 passing yards. They have allowed 627 rushing yards, only 80 points. There's a couple more points than the Raiders. They do have 8 sacks. It's about half of what those Raiders have, but they have 2 fumbles recovered and 10 interceptions, which is going to put them way up there. I think they're going to be in the top 5. Yep, they're number 2. There you go, right there, right behind the Bills. Break down a couple of individual stats here. We're going to take a look at the Jaguars first. Bortles is having a decent season, nothing to be too excited about. 56%, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 883 yards. You want to see those numbers improve here as we really get going in this season. And again, they were higher than the Raiders in rushing. They don't have the better running back. And here's why. Because they have a 3-headed monster between Ivory, Yeldon, and Robertson. All of these guys are way over 5 yards a carry. Yeldon actually has 6 touchdowns already on the year. They like to spread that ball around and give a lot of guys carries. They also like to spread the ball around in the passing. Of course, their passing offense isn't really spectacular, but Julius Thomas does have 3 touchdowns on the year. All of his top 4 guys are averaging over 18 yards a carry or catch. 3 of them over 20. So those are going to be some really good stats to look at. This team is really being led by the 2 safeties. Both Cypern and Gibson are both leading this team in tackles. Again, not a whole lot of sacks. Nothing that's really going to catch your eye. Malik Jackson from the defensive tackle position doesn't have 2.5. Fowler having a decent year with 2. Of course, you want to see that get better. But this is where this team really shines, and that's with Nakamura. He's got 4 interceptions. Cypern's got 2. God, what I wouldn't do to have Cypern back on my team again this year after having him on my Saints last year. That's where this team really, really shines and makes their money, is picking the ball off. 4 fumbles caused, and I think like we talked about, there he goes, 2 fumbles recovered already. They don't have any touchdowns so far and no safeties on the year. But that defense plays really, really well, and they spread the ball around on carries and also on receptions. Let's take a look at the defense for the Raiders. Again, this is where this team really, really, really shines. Sean Smith is really leading the way up. Sorry, let's change that. I knew that wasn't right. Reggie Nelson, the old man, is leading the way with 39 tackles. But Malcolm Smith, who's coming over from Seattle, has got 37. Alden Smith is doing really well with 29. This is where this team really shines, though. Watch Khalil Mack. He's already got 8 sacks on the year, 25 total tackles, 16 of those solo, 3 of those are tackles for loss. Not a lot of interceptions. Emerson's got 2, his 3rd-year cornerback out of North Carolina State. Everybody else has just got 1. You expect that number to kind of get a little bit better, especially with all the pressure that they really put on quarterbacks throughout the year. And I think they do have a couple of touchdowns. 1 touchdown from Sean Smith on the year. This team also is struggling with the pass. Derek Carr has only passed for a little over 1,000 yards, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 55% on the year. Nothing to really brag about, just common, normal quarterback play. Murray is having a great season. Again, this team's a little lower than what the Jaguars have in total, but it's because Murray is having such a great year. He gets all of the carries. The Raiders are going to give just the minimum to hit league rules to be under that 80-20. But Murray's averaging over 6 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns already on the year. Washington's only averaging 3.8 yards a carry, 92 with 2 touchdowns. Here's where it gets a little surprising. Crabtree's having a spectacular year, 17 receptions, 5 touchdowns already. He's averaging almost 60 yards per game. He seems to be getting those sharp in cuts and slants. But here's what really surprises me. Amari Cooper's only got 8 receptions, for 143 yards, 17 yards a catch, almost 18 yards a catch. We'll give him 18 there, and only 1 touchdown. Those numbers are pretty shocking to me. Only 30 rack yards on the year. You expect those numbers to be much, much better from the stud receiver from Alabama. So who are we going to be taking? The Raiders are going to be traveling. Did I have that right? I think I have that right. The Raiders are going to be traveling to face those Jaguars. So who are we going to take? Make sure I got that right. Yeah, the Raiders are traveling to face the Jaguars. I did get it right. I do my homework a little bit better. I'm going to take the Jaguars, and here's why. The Raiders have the better defense, and the Jaguars are going to spread it around. They're going to really make sure that they find the holes. They're going to find the running back that has the hot hand. Yeldon is playing really, really well. The Raiders seem to be really one-sided. You stop Murray, you stop Crabtree, and you got a really good chance to win. The Jaguars are playing really good football. They're going to eat a lot of clock. They're playing at home. If this game was flip-flop, if the Jags were traveling to face the Raiders, I would probably change my pick. But give me Brady and the Jaguars in a 17-13 victory over the Raiders. So there you have it. Make sure you check out the website, grownfolksoc.com. Lots of new stuff up there. FIFA drops tonight, so the FIFA team is going to be getting going here over the next couple of days. The OCW, the WWE 2K League, has a lot of new updates as their season comes to an end with the new game dropping in a little, about 3 weeks, I think, or so. And then, of course, the new Press Pass Live, new videos, all the new stuff with the new chat program is out there. Make sure you check out the blog. Make sure that you check out the website. We are recruiting for 2 new owners right now. If you're watching this and you're not part of the Grown Folks community, not part of the OMFL, we'd love for you to check us out. Just hit the little join button on the website, and you can fill out that and send it over to us, and we'll make sure that we connect with you. If you know of a good owner, brag about us. Tell them what they get when they join this league. We'd love to have your friends come and join our league. Looking to get stable here, find a good set of owners. I really think after we fill these 2 teams in the league that we're going to be done. I can't seem to talk today, all right? I'm all pumped about my Saints, thinking about my Saints. They're playing here in another hour or so. But anyway, I think after we fill these 2 teams that we can find 2 steady owners, that we're going to be good to go. We're going to have a good set of guys that are going to carry us for the rest of Madden 17. Unless life kind of takes somebody away from us, which that'll happen from time to time. So, thank you for tuning in for Game of the Week for Week 7. Good luck to you. Good luck to your health of your team. We will see you for Week 8. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you around the other side. Peace out, fellas.